Welcome to the GCN Tech Show and welcome to 2021.
But fear not, we've got loads this week, including new raw carbon frames from Orbea that are lighter, an e-bike that looks like a motorbike, your upgrades, the bike vault, and more snacks of the week.
Plus, obviously, we've got our main talking point, which is indoor training on a budget.
First, let's take a look at a poll from a few weeks back, because this is one of my favourite polls I've ever done, which is, has aero gone too far? And just to see how this one's ticking along in the app. The options are yes, put the brakes on aero, or no, we want more aero. More aero, the better. And 64% of people are saying they want more aero.
More aero, just
more
like...
aero, more recumbents.
More recumbents. No,
more fairings.
Not that far.
Okay. Anyway, on to our main talking point this week, which is indoor training on a budget. And we're discussing this because it's January.
Yeah, that's right. New year, new me.
Yeah. And also the weather's terrible and there's a lockdown here again now, so many of us are going to be training indoors. But indoor training can be blooming expensive, so we thought it would be a great idea to discuss some of the more budget options and how they compare to the more expensive options out there and what the key differences are.
Yeah, that's right. And the first one that springs to mind is Peloton, because it's pretty popular and something most people have heard of. So we figured that would be a good starting point, really.
Yeah, but it is. I mean, it's very expensive.
It is expensive. Yeah, you're right. The basic Peloton bike starts at $1,750, so that $1,750. And if you wanted to pay that monthly, because, well, it's quite a lot of money, isn't it? It's $49 a month for 39 months. Plus, on top of that, you also got the subscription service too, which gives you the on-demand classes, which is one of the key highlights of that. Yeah, it's what it's about. So if you paid monthly for the bike and for the subscription service, you're looking at nearly $100 a month.
And a key disadvantage of this kind of system is that if you were to buy a separate turbo trainer and a bike, so you'd have a bike that you could actually ride outdoors as well as ride indoors, that's going to cost you less than the total price.
And you can do a lot more. You can do a lot more on it.
And it's a lot more versatile. But I think I can understand why people would go for the Peloton thing, because it is, you're paying almost for that convenience. In my mind, it's a bit like people who bought an iMac in the 1990s rather than buying a PC. You know what I mean? It's all sort of does it for you.
Yeah, it's sort of like a whole experience, isn't it? It's very much like an indoor, at-home gym class.
And the other big advantage of using a sort of separate bike and turbo trainer is it means you have the option to use kind of whichever training app or virtual riding app you want. You're not just locked into the Peloton app, which is kind of a big thing. But, I mean, still can be quite expensive. So I think we can go much cheaper than that.
Yeah, if you wanted the real basic, the cheapest option to get you started, you're going to have to look at a wheel-on turbo trainer, and these can be picked up second-hand for around the £50 mark. And if you wanted to buy a brand new one, maybe £100 to £150. So they're still relatively cheap, and if you've got a bike already, that can just be clipped onto it. And then you can use online free videos, such as the GCN workout videos that we've got.
Yeah, and also on the GCN training channel, which our new channel's launched. There's videos on there, and completely free to use. And many of these basic turbo trainers, they usually have magnetic resistance with a sort of thing that you can attach onto the handlebars, and you can just adjust the resistance accordingly as
pretty old school.
You need it, yeah.
I remember having one of these, and it was so basic, and it made such a racket as well.
Yeah, I had one as well.
And talking about wheel-on turbo trainers, if you don't already own a bike, then you're going to have to just buy one, and you can just use any second-hand bike that you can pick up as cheap as you like.
Yeah, they're pretty versatile. And another option could be to buy a basic spinning bike. You know, off many online retailers, these are typically available for around £150 to £250, euros or dollars. And yeah, this would be a useful thing for doing those sort of workout videos again. Or perhaps you could build your own rollers, like Blake did from GMBN.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And they are the most budget-friendly options if you're sort of new to indoor training, and if you're new to indoor workouts, then these are going to be the best thing for you. But they sometimes do lack a little bit of that realistic feeling, don't they?
Yeah, and that's a key thing, really. Indoor cycling and training can be a pretty tortuous experience, and we'd recommend that anything that you can do to make it more enjoyable and stimulating is gonna make you want to do it more often, and that's going to help you, get fitter.
Yeah, that's right. But in our extensive experience, we do recommend spending that little bit extra if your budget allows to get a more realistic trainer.
And if you find yourself taking to indoor cycling and you're enjoying it, then you can always upgrade your setup further down the line and potentially go into the realms of smart trainers, which I personally think is well worth doing. It opens up a lot of possibilities. And the entry point into smart trainers would be something like the Wahoo Kicker Snap, which is available for £429.99 at the time of making this video. You can go much more expensive.
Yeah, smart trainers are pretty cool, aren't they? Because it means you can use online training platforms, which make your sort of training far more interactive and immersive. Meaning you can use platforms like Zwift, for example, is a good one, and you can still use those with so-called dumb trainers too.
Yeah, so you don't need a smart trainer to use all of these platforms. So, yeah, like Alex says, Zwift, you can just use a basic trainer or rollers and then pair that with a speed sensor. Speed sensors aren't expensive either. And then you simply need the Zwift app running on either a smartphone, a tablet, or a laptop, and you're away.
Yeah, that's true. And the cool thing about Zwift is you can ride in virtual worlds, of which some replicate sort of real places that you can ride in too. And you can ride with your friends, you can do racing. It's got a real cool sort of social element to it, which is great for motivation, isn't it?
It is, and there's other apps as well. Zwift is the biggest, and at the time of making this video, again, Zwift subscription is $14.99 a month, but there's also apps like RGT Cycling, Ruvi, and Be Cool that are all offering
a whole host of different ones, isn't there?
That social thing. And if you're after a sort of more structured training-focused experience, but aren't necessarily that bothered about the sort of social element of riding against other people, then Trainer Road and Wahoo Surf Training offer great options in that regard as well.
It doesn't matter what indoor trainer you use or which indoor training platform you use. The main thing is just to pick one that you enjoy the most.
Yeah, 100% agree. 100% agree. And in summary, if you've got a bit more money to spend, then a smart trainer is well worth it. They're great, and you don't need to buy the top of the range, most expensive one. A basic smart trainer is brilliant. Having a separate bike and trainer has a number of advantages over just a static bike, in that if it's a nice day outside,
yeah, you can get outside.
You go outside and ride a bike in the real world. And also it can be a bit easier to pack away a separate bike and trainer if space is an issue over a static bike. And the final piece of advice that I think we should give some people is don't blow all your money on a fancy trainer.
Keep a bit aside.
Yeah, keep a bit aside for a fan. Fan is crucial.
I think we should have a poll on this as well. So we want to know, if the weather's bad outside, do you sort of stay indoors and stay warm and dry, or do you brave the elements and head outside? Yeah, vote on the app.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting one. I think indoor training has improved so much over the last 5 years that if we'd asked this 5 years ago, people would have definitely gone, oh no, indoor training, awful, I'm going outside. I would have done. Yeah,
I used to be like that, but new technology has changed me around.
Well, let's see what the viewers say.
Yeah. And moving into hot tech, this week, first up, we've got new Velotoes Snaps, which are waterproof aero overshoes, which I'm sure you've heard of, Ollie. And these are the revised edition with two little poppers underneath to make putting them on super easy, because that was one of the sort of slight downfalls of Velotoes, wasn't it? They were quite a faff to put on.
Yeah, I do have experience with Velotoes. It's basically like, for those who are unfamiliar, they're like a swimming cap for your shoe.
Yeah, that's probably the best description of it. Yeah, like a balloon almost.
Yeah, and they're quite, they fit very snug, but they're very hard to get on without damaging them. And you did actually, if you went to like a race, I remember years ago going to a race, you'd always have to allow quite a bit of extra time in order to put them on, at least 10 minutes to get them on. And I remember one time I actually wore just one Velotoes in my race. I only had one on because I didn't quite leave myself enough time, and I put one on, was putting the other one in a bit of a rush, ripped it. So I just only had one.
It's not great, is it? I have had a similar problem.
Michael Jackson.
I did have a similar problem, but not quite so Michael Jackson-like, because I just ran out of time and had no overshoes, so I had cold feet all race.
Well, hopefully with these poppers on them now. They'll be easier to get on and off.
These 100% sort out the only sort of downfall of Velotos, which was the time-consuming issue. This sort of overcomes that, and you've got a easier product to use.
Cool.
Up next, we've got a new cleat and pedal system from Bython. And these are almost a sort of halfway house between a traditional clip-in road pedal and a flat pedal. And these give an alternative for people that want the security of a pedal clip-in system, but not the restrictions, because this enables you to lift your foot completely off of the pedal with no restrictions at all.
So who's it aimed at?
Traditionally, I'd have said, well, not traditionally, but I'd have said maybe at commuters, people that are in city and urban areas that want to easily and quickly be able to lift their foot off the pedal and not ever be concerned that they're going to be stopped and have a foot stuck into the pedal. That's sort of its main selling point, is that it's a unique system that secures your foot when you're applying a bit of pressure to it, but your foot isn't restricted in place. So it's sort of a nice security element, maybe even for people that are just building up their confidence with clipping pedals as well. So it could be pretty good, although I don't see it being perfect for real sort of cycling enthusiasts or people that are really into the sport that have been using clipping pedals before, because I think it just might be a little bit far different to what you've got used to. I think you might enjoy the fact that your foot is nicely secured, so it's probably better for people that are just building up their confidence a bit.
Next up, we have got raw carbon finishes from Orbea, which I think is seriously cool. I mean, I'm really excited about this, but I'm also really disappointed by this in almost equal measure, because I've put in an order for a new Orbea, right? But I did it before this option was available. And if this option was available, I would have gone for it.
I've done exactly the same thing. I'm pretty disappointed too, to be honest.
So this is available through Mayo, which is Orbea's custom finish configurator. So if you buy an Orbea, you can use the Mayo to customize the paint on your bike. And the raw carbon finish has a number of advantages. Firstly, it looks cool. I mean, a raw carbon finish looks cool. So they then, it's the raw carbon and then just a thin layer of either matte or gloss lacquer over the top to protect it and the Orbea logos. But it also saves a load of weight. Like paint and primer can add a lot of weight, and they reckon it saves around 100 grams or more, depending on the size. Yeah, it's only available on the top of the range OMX frames, but that is probably cool, isn't it?
Very cool indeed, yeah. I'm going to be pretty jealous if someone on the GCN presenters manages to get one of those bikes with that finish. I'm going to be jealous of that.
Finally, in Hot Tech this week, we've got Super 73 e-bikes. Check these out, right? This is a company based in the Netherlands that specialise in making just these unique, kind of funky looking e-bike, motorbike, chopper. Yeah. Just absolute beasts, aren't they?
Big mashup of things.
Yeah.
Pretty impressive. These, are those cool as they look, I would love to have one. I don't think I'd want to ride it very far, do you?
Well, I wouldn't want to do a sportive on them or like a big epic ride in the mountains, but for just like pootling around town.
Cruising into town, you're going to look so cool.
Yeah. We've seen sort of similar things at
Taipei
Bike Show. Yeah, really cool.
Yeah, pretty cool. So I was looking into this and finding out some of the details about it, because it is obviously an e-bike as well. And it has a great big 960 watt-hour battery with a claimed range of 120 kilometers, which is pretty impressive, although I don't think I'd want to ride it 120 kilometers. But it's nice knowing that you haven't got to charge this e-bike up every single day. You can just, in and out of town, you could probably get a week out of it if you live quite close to town.
You can do 960 watts for an hour?
Well, along those lines. It's not like 100% efficient. And plus the motor doesn't have 960 watts for an hour. I think you might end up with a burnt out motor.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool though, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it might be able to keep it outside.
I think one of my favourite things on this bike, like design features aesthetically, is that the way that the battery is shaped and positioned to look like a fuel tank on a motorbike. Yeah,
that is very cool. It's like a real standout feature on this, but in terms of the handling of the bike, is not so great, is it? Policing one of the heaviest items of the bike at one of the highest points of the bike.
Yes, that is one of the reasons why we've seen e-bike manufacturers actually trying to put the batteries and the motors as low as possible within the bike design to reduce that centre of gravity. Yeah. But, style. It's style, mate. That's what it's about.
Maybe we should have had a pole style over aero.
I think they're proper cool. I'd love to just bomb around town on one of those.
Yeah, that's cool, isn't it? Yeah, that's very good. Right, it's now time for Snacks of the Week. And after Christmas and New Year's, I was hoping to try and get back into a bit more of a normal eating routine, especially just in case Si challenges us to another 5 versus 1 video.
Oh, God. We're going to destroy him next time. Also, what a joke that was. Absolutely stitched up. Absolutely stitched up, I was. Terrible. I'm not getting dropped again. That was ridiculous. Anyway, Sachin Katecha, because you missed you out last time.
Yeah, I was a little bit disappointed.
Thanks, Sachin. He sent us some more snacks. We've fired up the snack signal.
The snack beacon.
Snack beacon, and the snack beacon.
It looks heavy.
Oh, it's
Are you
big
strong
box.
enough?
Yeah. I hope you like Guinness and crisps, because he sent us a massive box of Guinness crisps.
Just in case we haven't eaten unhealthily enough.
Yeah, just in case. I mean, that's going to keep. I'm not going to have to do a shop this week. That's going to keep me sustained, isn't it? That?
20 bags of crisps, I counted that. That's going to last at least till tomorrow.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Right. Cheers, Sachin.
Yeah, thanks very much. Are you going to pass them over because they weren't for me?
COVID.
Oh,
God. COVID screen. Oh. Sorry.
Taste all right? Yeah.
Oh, I forgot. Quick translation for the American viewers. These are crisps, but you may know them as potato chips. It's time now for Screw Riding Upgrades by Upgrades, where you submit images, videos, evidence, sculptures, artwork of the upgrades that you've made to your bike's equipment or cycling lives for a chance to win the ultimate prize, GCN Wasp Bottle. We've got 2 winners to announce this week.
Yeah.
It's a rollover.
Here's a rollover.
Rollover show.
Yeah.
So, first up, we had, from GCN Tech Show 157, we had Paul Martin and his retro Univega restoration versus Michael 8848 and his Orbea repair job.
Yeah. The Orbea takes the victory.
Yeah, 64%.
Yeah, pretty good. I enjoyed that restoration that you did on that carbon repair. I thought it was good.
Well done, Michael 8848, the old height of Everest. Get in contact on Facebook and we'll get the bottle out to you. Next up, from GCN Tech Show 158, whose upgrade was the best? Hard Bread's custom painted carbon bike or T. Polyazak's birthday restoration job?
Storming victory on this one. Hard Bread taking 75% of the votes.
Ooh. Good custom painting on his carbon bike there. Fair one. That was good.
That was a good one, I remember that.
Yep, cool, get in contact. We'll get the bottle out. Right, who've we got up this week?
This week we've got Paul O'Brien. It says last year he restored a Colton for his dad. So this year, as a shielding lockdown restoration project, he's restoring his mum's childhood rally Caprice bike from the early 70s. So he dismantled it all, sanded the frame back, all the parts. So it took him weeks to remove all the rust.
It's very rusty there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Look at that.
Spray painted it, and a lot of accessories as well on there. So yeah, painted it all up, new parts, new decals. As he even says, he's got a gold chain on it that he's shipped the bike. Once it was finished, he shipped it from London to Wexford in Ireland as a Christmas surprise.
That's a good Christmas surprise.
Yeah,
that chain does look a little bit loose though.
Let's have a little look. I got a
It looks like he needs to adjust the dropout. But
yeah, I hope his mum's not planning on doing any sprints on that bike.
Yeah, I'm loving that he's restored the saddle. That saddle looked wicked on the first one, and I mean that is just a beautiful job, isn't it? Red and white's always a good colour combo on bike.
Cool looking bike, isn't it?
I think that's brilliant.
Yeah.
I really like that. That's great. And a great Christmas present, very thoughtful. It's not going to be plain sailing though, because, well,
I'm glad
O'Brien.
I'm glad you have to say this name.
He's up against. He's up against XZX GCT 3NEI.
It's a very catchy name.
I think I'm going to try and say it. XGT 3NEI.
I know exactly how you pronounce this.
Yeah?
Do you want to know how you pronounce it? Stuart.
Okay.
If you look further down, he says, regards, Stuart.
Well, Stuart has bought this Vitus Razor medium frame for 40 quid, all right? And then he's bought all the components on eBay, shopping around for bargains, and he's built it up to be his winter bike. He's put 105 on, 11 speed, group set of the people.
Yeah, it is indeed, yeah.
But some nice bits as well, like 3T aero bar in there, physique saddle, And he's got this like Chinese carbon seat post in there, and a giant SLR 50 carbon wheels because he still wants it to be a bit aero.
Pretty smart choice of parts, isn't it? It's got
I like that
he
shopped around for his bits, and that's really cool. And that 105 group set is brilliant. I do really like the way they look as well. Also, I love the way it's gone full winter bike with the Crud Road Racers mudguards.
Yeah, it's good. Aero seat post as well. Like stealthy looking winter bike, you'd hope he has a good set of lights on that, otherwise it's very dark to see, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a very solid, smart looking winter rig though. I'd be...
Tan walls on that. If he takes the mudguards off, it'd be a good summer bike as well.
Those tan walls aren't saying tan for long, are they?
No.
Not a winter bike. But yeah, cracking upgrades. But as ever, you guys know the drill. You can click down below and vote, and who wins, you decide. Time now for our favourite part of the show, the Bike Vault. First one of 2021, where you submit pictures of your bikes and we judge them to be either nice or super nice. If they're super nice, Alex,
we ring the bell.
We'll ring the bell and they get committed to the vault forever. You can also play along at home in the GCN app, voting either nice or super nice on all the bikes we feature. So without further ado, who have we got first this week?
I'll start us off. We've got Ashley 4, so the fourth Ashley.
Yeah.
With their giant Contend SL 2020 model.
Smart bike. Looks like perhaps even a sort of brand new Christmas present.
Yeah, it looks very new. Still got reflectors on.
There's something else that's offending me even more on this bike, and that is the seat post collar sort of rubber cap.
Oh yeah, I just
is like up.
Yeah.
In a kind of elevated position. We've got chimney on there. It's a new bike, so you know, obviously don't want to cut it straight away. I mean, the crank's in the wrong position. That's unforgivable. I think it's a nice.
Yeah, it's just a nice. Few emissions there, unfortunately.
Yeah, you will learn with time. We're helping you. Hurley Danny has got his 1980s White Spider MTB, right? And he actually turned it into a gravel bike. What do you think of this?
Look. That's a lot going on in that picture.
There's a lot going on. A lot of benches behind him. A lot of wood. A lot of benches.
Very flared handlebars.
I love those crank covers that he's got on there.
Oh wow, yeah.
Like that's
looks like an old inner tube. Yeah.
Proper 90s.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this has not been a great start to 2021's bike.
No, I think that's a nice.
Yeah, a nice, I'm afraid.
A nice. Ryan Littman is next. He's from Nashville.
On a rainy day.
He's Guru Strada. What do you think of that?
I quite like that. This is good. I remember picking this one out because very well presented bike.
Yes, he's followed the rules.
There's been some planning here for this.
Yeah.
It's not by chance. We've got nicely aligned valves, cranks nicely aligned, biggie smalls. We've got no chimney. We've got perfectly level saddle.
Yeah.
We've got no accessories.
It's clean. It's well presented.
For me,
good background.
I'm going to call it early. Super nice.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
With you. First super nice of the year.
God, that felt good.
Akashamave. He's got his extremely comfortable hybrid bike, his Trek Dual Sport 3 2001 edition.
2001?
What do you think of this?
Wow, 2021. You've just taken 20 years off his bike.
Have I? It's 2021 edition, yeah.
But it is cool, isn't it?
Interesting water bottle, but I mean, very kind of unconventional bike vault
angle,
positioning, non-drive side,
jaunty angle.
That's a weird water bottle. What is the string hanging from the saddle? Is that like a saddle cover?
I think it's a saddle cover.
Drawstring saddle cover.
Yeah.
I mean,
we can't tell what gear it's in.
It's a nice. Come on, that's a nice.
Yeah.
And who have we got last this week?
AA Chic.
Chic.
Yeah, Chic.
Chic.
With a Swift Ultravox tie, 2016 year this bike is.
That looks like Cape Town.
Yeah, that's cool, isn't it? I remember this one because this stood out to me because it just reminds me of a little bit of summer, being on holiday, things which we haven't had for a long time.
Yes. I mean, I'd quite like to be in Cape Town right now.
Yeah.
That'd be quite nice. It's raining outside.
Cool looking bike though. I like the colour scheme on this.
Matching Ritchie stem, Ritchie saddle.
Well
That's
presented.
nice.
I've just noticed as well on the seat stayers. This is an old NFTO team bike. That British Continental team. Chainstay, sorry.
That might be Hank's old bike.
Imagine if it is Hank's old bike.
Could be Hank's old bike.
That would be amazing if it is. Maybe get in touch and let us know if it is.
Yeah, it could be. Right. Well, I think that's a super.
It's a super nice, yeah.
More Bike Vault next week.
And that's it for the GCN Tech Show today. That's all from us.
Yeah, hope you've enjoyed it. Don't forget to check out the GCN shop if you're after some bargains this January. And if you're into live racing, there's been some amazing cyclocross coverage over on Race
I've watched loads over Christmas.
Yeah, on the GCN app. So territory restrictions apply, but make sure you check that out because there's loads to come.
Well, there's the World Champs coming up soon.
I know. Can Van der Poel do it again? Or will Pidders go one better?
Who knows? Wait and see.
He's my boy. Fellow Yorkshireman. All right. See you next week.
See you later.